Let us begin our short course on linear algebra. Why would we want linear algebra? And what is the goal of linear algebra? Anybody knows? What do you think is the goal of linear algebra?
In every dimension.
Huh?
Processing in every dimension, making calculation, because
Making calculations in every dimension. You have to speak a little louder, Meda. I can't hear
yes, sir.
you. Be a little louder.
So I think that because whenever we do any processing, it is not a 1D problem. Always we have a 3D problem. That's why with linear algebra we can do processing in each dimension or more than one dimension.
So do you think if I have an equation, set of equations like x plus y is equal to 2 and x minus y is equal to 1, do you think that this would be a solution for this?
It is not visible, but if you are writing something, it is not visible.
You can't see it?
No, sir. I can't see it.
Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you have two sets of equations like this, do you think it is possible for us to solve this? Would that be a part of linear algebra or not?
It would be part of linear algebra.
Then where does multi-dimension come in? Anyway.
So x and y, I don't know.
The goal is to solve a system of linear equations. Okay. So let me. यार ये क्या हुआ? Okay. So the goal is to solve a system of linear equations. That is the goal of linear algebra. Okay. So let us start with that example itself. Let us do that. If you have x plus y is equal to 2 and x minus y is equal to 1. So how would you solve them?
Simply we will add these two equations together. We will get a value of x.
I can't hear you. You're very.
So we can add these two equations together. We will get a value of x, and then by this value of x, by putting it in one equation, we can get a value of y.
So first thing we do is that we make a linear combination of these two equations so that we get rid of one of these variables. Okay. So let us follow a more systematic procedure. Okay. So what is that systematic procedure? If you look at the first variable, let us call that as that is x. Okay. And I want to get rid of x from the second equation. How would I do that? Let's say I want to get rid of all the variables starting with the first variable from the second equation. So how would I get rid of that? I would multiply the second equation by -1. Is that not? If this is equation 1 and this is equation 2, then what do? I do 1 minus
2
or 1 plus -1 into equation of 2. That is what I do. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
So we get, so now my second equation, instead of now the new set of equations becomes x plus y is equal to 2, and the second equation is going to be what now? If I use this, क्या होगा?
So x plus minus y.
Minus x plus y.
So y
Minus
is equal to -1, isn't it? हाँ या ना?
Yes, sir.
I made a mistake somewhere.
So
The 0.5, na?
Huh?
0.5, sir.
No, 0.5 is fine, but or 2y. So what am I doing? I am multiplying this equation by -1 and adding these two. Okay, so yeah, that's the mistake I made. So it will be +1 and 2y. Is that all right? आया समझ में या नहीं?
हाँ sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are going to get y is equal to 1/2. Okay. So now you have the value of y. Now what do? You put this back into this equation. If you put it into this equation, you will get x is equal to 1/2. Is that all right? So this particular phenomena, this step is called as elimination. Okay, what did we do? We eliminated one variable. Okay, and now we found out the value of y. Now we put this back into the previous equation. This is called as back substitution. Okay. So this is one way of solving this equation, and this particular procedure is called as Gauss elimination. Okay, because Gauss was the original mathematician who came up with this method, or at least that is known to us. Okay. Now let me give one more example before we move on. Let me say that I have an equation x plus 2y is equal to 3 and 4x plus 5y is equal to 6. Now I have these two equations and I want to apply Gauss elimination to this particular set of equations. How do I do that? Let us call this as equation 1 and this is equation 2. What do I do?
We can multiply 1 with 4.
Yeah, so we want to get rid of x from equation 2. Okay, if you want to do that, how do I do that? I do 2 minus 4 1. Okay, na? So if I do that, what do I get? So
Minus
4x minus 4x is gone. Okay, 5y minus
8.
8y, which is going to be minus 3y is equal to 6 minus 12
Minus 6.
minus 6. Okay, so this is going to give me y is equal to 2. And if I do a back substitution back into this equation, what do I get?
X is equal to 1.
X is equal to
1.
Minus.
minus 1 hoga na?
Okay, minus. Sorry.
So if you do that, this will be x plus 4 is equal to 3, which will give you x is equal to minus 1. Again, this is all right. Another way of solving this might be using what? Lines. Okay. So if this is x and this is y, you can have two lines and you can find the intersection point. So that is a graphical way of solving the same equations. Yeah. So can you draw the line for these two equations? So let us do a third example rather than doing it this. Let us do a third example. So I have another example, which is 2x minus y is equal to 1 and x plus y is equal to 5. Let us say I have these two equations and I want to solve them graphically. How would I do that? I will draw the two lines. What is the first line? 2x minus y. Where does it pass through? What is its x-intercept? How do I find the x-intercept? By putting y is equal to 0. What is the x-intercept in this case?
1/2.
1/2. Okay, so we have 1/2. What about y-intercept?
So
Minus one.
Minus 1.
It is minus
So
1.
we have 1/2 comma 0. That is the intercept on the x-axis, and y is going to be minus 1. Sorry, 0 comma minus 1. So these are the two places where this line will pass the two axes. I do it. Let me. I forgot about undo. Okay. So you have one line like this, and the second line is going to be x-intercept is also 5, and y-intercept is also 5. So 0, 5 and 5, 0. So this is how your line, and the intersection point, although it is not very easy to, if you had a graph paper, then it would be easy to see that intersection point. We don't have a graph paper, so I'll tell you the answer where these two will intersect, which is 2, 3. Okay. Anybody has any questions here? Okay. So another way of looking at this same equation is to look at a column picture. Okay. So this can also be thought of, as you already probably know about vectors. So it can be thought of as a sum of two vectors. Okay, which gives us a third vector. A linear combination of two vectors gives us a third vector. So now let us look at this same set of equations in a column picture. So you have 2, 1, x plus minus 1, 1, y is equal to 1, 5. Do you agree that this is the same as what we have on at the top? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Sridhar, any doubts? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. No doubts.
So what do you have? You have the phone. Yeah. So this can be thought of as a linear combination of these two vectors. You can think of this as one vector. This is the second vector, and this is your third vector. So x and y are two scalar quantities. So it's a linear combination of these two vectors. Let us call this as, let us say, vector A and vector B, which is giving a vector C. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you might have all seen this particular picture previously, but most likely you would not have seen this. This is a new thing that you might be seeing today. Okay, so thinking of this in terms of vectors. Okay, a set of linear equations in terms of vectors or columns. Okay, so this is a linear combination of these columns, which gives you a third column. Okay, by column I also mean column vector. Okay, so if you look at this, now let us see this particular picture. Now you have the first vector is 2, 1. So what will it look like? So the 2, 1 vector will be starting from origin, and it will end at 2, 1. Okay, so that is your vector A. Now vector B is minus 1, 1. Okay, so this is minus 1, 1. This is vector B. Now, and my vector C is 1, 5. So I want to find out the values of what multipliers I should apply. It is obviously not very trivial to do this, but the basic concept you should try to understand that what multiplier should I apply to this particular vector A, and what multiplier should I apply to vector B, so that I get vector C. Is that all right? So if you see that you can apply a multiplier 2 here, and a multiplier 3 here, and you are going to get, you can, this is your homework exercise to find out, to verify whether this works or not. Okay, so again, this is the exact same thing. We are solving it in 3 different manners. The first method was Gauss elimination. The second one was using graphical method, means graphing, plotting your 2 lines. Okay, so this is also called as the row picture. Okay, so you're looking at these as rows. Okay, individual rows. So individual rows correspond to lines. Okay, and individual columns correspond to what? Vectors. Okay, so we are trying to solve the same thing in multiple manners. Okay, so any questions in this? Anybody?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, 2, 1 both are like in X, na? So like, can we represent that in 2D plot? Like, we are considering 2, 1.
So please
As
understand that
X
this
and Y.
is not, we are not trying to draw a line here. Okay, so 2, 1 is a vector now in an XY plane. Okay, so 2, 1 is not X.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
So will it, so ये universal truth होगा हमेशा, मतलब whenever we have 2 vectors and AB, then it will
यार
universally
मेरा यार
prove that.
तुम व्यवहार बहुत धीरे बोलती हो, फिर मैं बोलता हूँ तुम।
सॉरी सर, यूनिवर्स मतलब सर ये यूनिवर्सल ट्रुथ होगा कि हमेशा 2 वेक्टर्स का जो जैसे एबीसी है तो ये हमेशा कुछ मल्टीप्लायर्स के साथ एक दूसरे को सेटिस्फाई कर रहे होंगे.
So please try to understand, if these 2 vectors are not parallel to each other, let us say vector A and B are not parallel to each other, if they are at any angle whatsoever, so do you, if A is at this and B is at an arbitrary angle, do you think we can create any vector using these 2, a linear combination of these 2 or not in this
So
particular plane?
डॉट कॉम्बिनेशन से.
Yeah, means any means a linear combination, A plus B. X, sorry, small a plus small b will create any possible vector that you want to create within this plane, not outside this plane. So within X and Y, it can create a plane. Do you agree with that or no?
Yes, I agree with that.
So do you think this point can be represented? Do you think this point can be represented? Do you think this point can be represented? Any point in this plane can be represented. Okay, so that is that this is possible in this particular case. But if you had a 3-dimension situation, okay, so your question is very relevant to what I was just about to discuss. Now let us look at the 3-dimensional situation, okay, or where you have 3 equations. Okay, in this case we had 2 equations. So if these 2 lines are not parallel to each other, then we'll always have a solution. Okay, but if these 2 lines are parallel to each other, then obviously we would not have a solution.
2 is 0.
Okay, not in this case it will be no solution. But if you look at this, if you're let me erase this, hold on a minute. If I erase this, if my A was also in this direction and B was also in this direction, then what possible points could this represent on this plane? A linear combination of A and B, what possible points could it represent? Huh? Why are you thinking about dot product? Just think about it's not dot product, it's a linear combination. We are adding.
So इसी line में.
Yeah, it can only represent points on this particular line.
This particular line only.
Okay, this has nothing to do with dot product. Please understand that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
We are just adding these 2. Okay, these 2
Okay.
vectors are being added. Obviously by multiplying with a scalar. Both of them are being multiplied with a scalar. But even if you multiply with any scalar whatsoever, you cannot go other than this line. Okay, so please do not confuse. This is not X. This is a vector corresponding to what has to be multiplied by X. Okay, so this is very different pictures. They are not this XY is not the same as this XY in one sense. Okay.
Okay, sir.
This is a vector space now, a column space. This is the row space. Okay, this is the row
Okay,
space. We call this as the row space, and this is the column space. Okay. So now let us move on to a third 3-dimensional situation. Okay, let us extend this to 3 dimensions. So what happens in this situation? Now let me give an example. If I have a set of equations, 2u plus v plus w is equal to 5, 4u plus minus 6v is equal to minus 2, and minus 2u plus 7v plus 2w is equal to 9. Okay, so you have three equations now. Okay, again, using a similar method that we previously did, we can also write these equations in column form. I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. Why don't you write this in column form now? So you have 2, 4, minus 2, u plus
1 minus 6.
1 minus 6, 7, v plus
1 0.
1, 0, 2, w is equal to
5 minus 2.
5 minus 2 and 9. Okay. So now if you were to think of it as three vectors, okay, if these three vectors, and this is the fourth vector, when do you think a solution is possible? When these three can combine to create, so it is much more involved than the previous situation where if those two vectors were not parallel to each other, then they would create they could create a linear combination, could create a solution. Okay, so that was the two-dimensional situation. Two lines always intersect with each other as long as they are not parallel to each other. But in case of three dimensions, things are much more complicated, because there is a possibility that you can have a situation like this. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
What is the solution in this case?
So two solution.
No solution.
No
Okay.
solution.
What about this case?
No solution.
No solution again.
Yes.
Okay. What about this case? Again, we are looking at planes now. Please understand that these are equations for planes. If you don't remember your 12th class, whatever you called it, coordinate geometry or whatever it was called. So these are the equations for planes. Okay. So now I'm looking at planes perpendicular, means horizontal, perpendicular to the planes. I'm looking at the plane from its side. Okay. So these planes are perpendicular to the plane on which I am drawing. Okay. So these are again three planes. What do you think these three planes are? Parallel to each other?
Parallel.
Do they intersect at any point?
No.
No. Okay. Now let us look at the another situation. So there is no solution for these. Okay. So this is called as singular case. Now what about if I have a situation like this? Again, I'm looking at these planes from the plane is going into my paper, okay, into my laptop screen. Okay, so I've not drawn it completely correctly, but this is all intersecting at this. If you were to look at this, they are all intersecting. So what do you think? How many solutions does this have? Sridhar?
More solutions. Like
Huh?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
like more points can satisfy that.
More points. What do you mean by more points? One solution, many
Like
solutions, zero
many-
solution,
Many
Huh?
many solutions.
many solutions, right? So it has infinite solutions. What is this? So these all of them are intersecting at one line. Okay, there is one line that passes through all these planes. Okay, so there are infinite solutions. So this is looking as a point on this particular plot, but if you look at it if you were to able to look at it in 3 dimensions, then you'll see that there is a line that is passing through all these planes. Okay, all these 3 planes intersect on one line. So there are infinite solutions. Okay, so this is also called as if there is no solution, if there are infinite solutions, both these are called as singular cases. Okay. So now let us do an example and see what happens. So if you have a set of equations, u plus v plus w is equal to 2, and 2u plus 3w is equal to 5, 3u plus v plus 4w is equal to 6. So we have 3 equations now. Let us call this as equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. What do you think is the solution for these? Anybody? I'll give you a hint. Try adding equations 1 and 2.
So दोनों इक्वेशन
Huh?
सॉल्व नहीं हो गए.
You're right. There is no solution. Why? Because if you add equations 1 and 2, 1 plus 2 gives you what? It gives you 3u plus v plus 4w is equal to 7. And equation 3 says that this is equal to 6.
6.
So 6 cannot be equal to 7.
Hmm.
6 is not equal to 7. So
Okay.
therefore, there are no solutions for this particular set. Okay. So now, if let me erase this. So there are no solutions in this case. Instead of erasing, let me write this equation again. Now, if the equation 3, if equation 3 is changed to 3u plus v plus 4w is equal to 7, then what would happen?
So one solution.
Are you sure?
Equations are satisfying.
The equations are satisfying. That is not an issue.
Hmm.
But if you look at 1 plus 2 and the equation 3,
Yes, sir.
equation 3 is a combination of 1 and 2.
1 plus 2. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what can you say about the third plane? If we had this 1 plane, 2 plane, and the third plane is a linear combination of the first and second
Combination
plane.
of first and second. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is that going to give you? This will give you infinitely many solutions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us try to see what we can do here. So this will give you infinitely many solutions. This is going to give you, so there is no solution here, and you have infinite solutions. Why will you have infinite solutions? Because you have now 2 independent equations and 3
Third
variables.
dependent.
Okay, so if your number of variables is smaller than the number of equations, what do you get?
No solution.
Sorry, the number of variables is larger than the number of equations. What do you have?
No solution.
You have infinite solutions.
Achha, sorry.
ठीक है ना? Try solving it. Let us now we do not, in one sense, we do not have the third equation. Okay, third equation is inconsequential to us. We only have the first two equations. How will you solve them?
So एक वैल्यू तो U1 W1 and V0 मतलब
So
satisfy कर।
how will you solve for this?
For second equation, you would
Third equation can be derived from the first and second equation. So how will you solve for the first and second equations using first and second equations? Obviously, there will be no direct solution. Let us do a Gauss elimination sort of thing. What can we do?
we can multiply one with 2.
Okay,
V and W में आ जाएगा।
and then
we can write W in terms of V in terms of W, and then we can replace that.
so if let us say I multiply equation 1 by 2, what do I get? And subtract it from 2.
Like
Yeah, my pass.
2V 2V plus W.
2V minus W. We subtracting now.
From 2 we are subtracting. Minus
2V minus W minus 3 equal to minus 3.
So let us see here. So you have, but that is not going to intuitively give us any solution either.
So second equation से U की वैल्यू निकाल करके दोनों इक्वेशन में रख के replace।
That will be easier. Or you can do what? You can multiply equation 2 by 1 by 2. Okay. If I multiply equation 2 by 1 by 2 and subtract what? फिर भी कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. Anyway, it's not an intuitive answer. But do you all agree that it will have infinitely many solutions? One way of thinking about it is let us do a crude method. A crude method is we can assume a value of V. Okay, let us say V is equal to 0. Okay, if I assume V is equal to 0, then what do I get?
1.
I get a set of solutions for U and V, U and W.
Yes, sir. U and W. Yes,
Okay, you again choose another V, you'll get another set of U and W.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so which none of them are breaking any rules. Okay, so you can think of it in this manner, that you'll have infinitely many solutions. You can keep on choosing different values of V, and you'll keep on getting different values of U and W. Okay, because these two lines are not parallel to each other. Now this essentially becomes, if you choose a value of V, then it essentially becomes a two-dimensional problem in U and W.
Yes.
And there is no way of not getting a solution there. As long as the lines are not parallel to each other, you'll always have a solution, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you'll have infinitely many solutions. So that is another intuitive way of thinking about it. So now let us look at a column picture for the same equation, same set of equations. So let me erase, or I'll go to a new page. So this is the same set of equations. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3. I want no. So Sanjeev, you had a question regarding this X and Y. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So please understand that in this case, X is not a direction. X is now acting like a scalar for this particular vector. Okay, so this is a completely, I mentioned it previously, but this was, I don't think my explanation was very good. So your question was very good though. These two are now acting like scalars for these two vectors. Okay, so this is a completely different picture from this. In this case, X is like a direction. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is, in this case, these two are are scalars, which are multiplying with these vectors to give us a new vector. Okay. So
Okay.
this is a little bit different picture from the row picture. Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3 u plus 1, 0, 1 v plus 1, 3, 4 w is equal to. Now let us say that I'm calling this vector, the result vector, as b. Okay. If b was equal to what? 2, 5, 6. How many solutions did we have?
No solution.
This is the same example as the previous one. Just I'm looking at
Infinite.
the column
Infinite.
picture now. What?
No solution.
No solution. Okay. And if b is equal to
257.
what?
257.
2, 5, 7, then I have
Infinite.
infinite solutions. Okay. So now you can think of these three vectors. Okay. These three vectors, you have these three vectors, and you are making a linear combination of these three vectors to give you a new vector b. Okay. And you have a solution only when, so we know that, let us say that these three vectors lie in one plane. Okay. These three vectors, let us call this vector as capital A, capital B, and capital C. So we have three vectors, capital A, capital B, and capital C. A, B, C. Okay. Now these three vectors, let us say they lie in a plane. Okay. Now, if I have a vector called as small b. Okay. If this vector lies in the same plane, do you think ABC can combine together to create that particular plane?
Sir.
That particular vector B?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We just talked about it in two-dimensional case, that any vector in a 2D, as long as my these two, so these the initial two vectors that I'm creating my new vectors from, as long as those are called as the basis vectors. Okay. As long as my basis vectors are not parallel to each other, if my basis vectors are non-parallel, then I can create any vector throughout that particular plane.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if instead of two planes, I have a third plane also available to me. Sorry, instead of two vectors, now I have a third vector available to me. Do you think I can still create B?
Yes, sir.
I can create.
Yes.
Okay. So, and how many solutions do you think I can have now? In case of two vectors, we know that we have only one solution.
One
There's only
solution.
one way to create a new vector. But in this case, what do you think? Intuitively, what do you think? How many solutions can I have?
Multiple.
One.
No.
Multiple combinations.
Two vectors give one solution. Okay, but if I have a third vector possible, if I have a third non-parallel vector available to me, how many solutions can I have?
One. Huh?
Multiple.
Multiple combinations we can.
Multiple combinations you can make.
Combinations we can.
Two vectors can create only one combination. Okay, but if I have a third vector available, तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? इसको छोटा कर दो, इसको बड़ा कर दो, so you can make multiple combinations. Okay, so that is another way of thinking for the same solution that we just talked about, that we'll have multiple solutions as long as B is in the same plane as A, B, and C. Okay, now how do I prove that A, B, C are in the same plane? I just told you that A, B, C are in the same plane. I did not give you a proof. Any idea how I can prove that A, B, C are in the same plane?
Angle between them is like, if we prove that, like, based on
But
angle.
easiest way of doing that would be that let me call it as XA plus YB plus ZC is equal to 0. Means you can find a set of X, Y, and Z scalars. Okay, all of them are scalars. You can find a set of X, Y, and Z so that I can combine these three vectors together as a linear combination to give me a 0. Do you think that this is one way of determining whether they are in the same plane or not?
Yes.
Agree or no? Or
Yes,
any
sir.
doubts? If you could possibly find a set of scalars x, y, and z that would combine with a, b, and c to give me 0, do you think that is sufficient for me to prove that these three lie in the same plane?
Yes.
Because if they were not in the same plane, then a and b could not combine together to create c. Essentially, that is what you're saying, no? That c is
Yes.
equal to a linear combination. Let us call it as ma plus np, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This is essentially another form of this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if C was not in the same plane as A and B, this would not be possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where am I? So now if this B is not in the same plane as this particular these three vectors which I have just proven, can you prove this? Can we find a linear combination that does that? It is not very straightforward. It will be a little more involved than any idea? So I have the answer with me, which is 3, -1, and -2. So if you do this, what do you get? Huh? Try doing this. If you put u is equal to 3, v is equal to -1, and w is equal to -2, what do you get? So 3, -1, -2, 0. The first column becomes,
Yes, sir.
first row becomes 0. What about the
Yes.
second row? 3, 6,
6
0,
minus 6
26,
6,
0.
-6, 0. What about
9
3,
9 minus
0.
9
9 -1,
9
-8. Okay, again 0. Okay,
Mm.
so since we did not even have to do this. Okay, this is the beauty of linear algebra, that if two rows, or if one out of three, if in this case only two rows are independent out of three, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Two rows were independent of each other. The third row was a combination of the previous two rows.
Yes.
Okay, two rows are independent. That also implies automatically, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, that automatically implies that two what?
It is line simple.
Implies what? What did I just prove? That my
Yeah.
third column is a linear combination of
First and
first
second
two
column.
columns, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what does it imply? That if two rows are independent, how many columns are independent?
1.
No, yaar, two.
Sorry.
A and B are independent, no? C is a combination of A and B.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so two columns are independent. This is not very intuitive. I still don't have a very good but it somehow magically happens, because again these two are analogous, means parallel paths of looking at the same thing. Okay, one is the row picture, another is the column picture. So since we only have two independent equations when you are looking at the rows, there is no possibility of having a third independent equation when you're looking at it in terms of columns. Okay, so if you have two independent rows, then your number of columns which are independent will also be 2. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
how is third column is dependent on A and B?
Combination.
If you see here, you were helping us so much in getting to 0. So you can see that we can write C as a combination of A and B. Can we not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Got it.
Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, good. I'm very happy that you are paying so much attention. Anyway, so let us talk about one more example today, and then we will stop. Okay. Which is a formal procedure for Gauss elimination. So you have a set of equations, which is 2u plus v plus w is equal to 5. 4u minus 6v is equal to minus 2. Minus 2u plus 7v plus 2w is equal to 9. So you have these three equations and you want to apply Gauss elimination. Okay. So the way you do that is that in the first step, you'll get rid of u from all the remaining equations except the first one. Okay. So your goal is to finally create a sort of a triangular system of equations. Okay. As you move down in equations, as you are moving from top to bottom, the number of variables in each of the equations is becoming smaller and smaller. Okay. So how do you eliminate eliminate u from the remaining two equations? So we decide something called as pivot. Okay. So this is your pivot now. Pivot. PIVOT. Okay. What do you do with the pivot? You divide by this pivot everywhere, and based on that you multiply the equations. Okay. So what do you have? So you have how many? What do you have here? You have 4u. Okay. So you'll multiply this equation by how much?
2.
So
2.
if you look at the term corresponding to u compared to the pivot, so the pivot is 2. The term corresponding to this is 4. Okay, corresponding to u is 4. So you'll divide 4 by your pivot. Okay, so what do you get?
2 minus 3.
क्या आ रहा है? So you'll get 2. When you divide 4 by 2, you'll get 2. So you'll multiply equation 1 by 2.
2.
Okay, so you'll multiply equation 1 by 2 and you'll subtract it from 2.
Equation 2.
Okay, so what do you get?
Yes.
So if you do this, you'll get 4u minus 6v is equal to minus 2, and your this equation multiplied by
4u
2 is 4u
plus 2v
plus 2v
plus
plus
2w
2w is equal to 10. Okay, you multiply both the left hand side and the right hand side. Okay, so if you subtract this equation from that, what do you get? क्या मिलता है हमें?
8v minus 8v
minus 8v minus 2w
minus 2w
Minus 8v minus
2w
2w
equal to
is equal
minus
to
equal to minus 12.
minus 12. Okay, so previously your set of equations was this. Now what is your new set of equations? हमारा new set of equations क्या हो गया? 2u plus v plus w is equal to 5. Okay, so this is till now we have only solved for 2. We also have to do it for 3. So 3 के लिए क्या करना होगा हमें? Minus 2u minus plus 7v plus 2w is equal to 9. Okay, and what is your pivot? Pivot is 2.
Yes.
So you'll divide it by minus 2.
1.
Okay, so you'll get minus 1. So you multiply the first equation by minus 1.
Minus 1.
Okay, so minus 2u minus v minus w is equal to
minus 5
minus
5
5. Okay, and then you'll subtract this. Okay, what do you get? क्या मिल रहा है हमें?
A2,
So
minus 8V plus W.
not minus 8V, plus 8V.
A2, A2.
Acha.
ठीक है ना? Plus 8V plus 3W is equal to 14.
14.
Okay, so your new set of equations now, which is moving towards a triangular system, is this first equation plus the second equation is minus 8V plus minus 2W is equal to minus 12. Okay, and this is 8V plus 3W is equal to
14.
14. Is that all right? Okay,
Yes,
now you have a new system of equations. Now within this system of equations, now you will start from the which equation? First equation से तो हमने जो करना था वो कर लिया. We have already done whatever we wanted to do from the first equation. Okay, we got rid of u from all the remaining equations. Now what is our goal?
Now we need to.
We want to get rid of v
V.
from the remaining equations. We have only one equation in this case, but in any case, so what is the pivot in this case going to be?
Minus 8.
minus
Minus
8.
8. Okay, so what do you get here? So you'll divide by the pivot. Okay, you will divide the coefficient, means the parameter corresponding to v by the pivot. So 8 divided by minus 8 gives you what?
Minus 1.
Minus
Minus
1.
1.
Minus 1. So you multiply the equation by minus 1. Okay, so you have 8v minus, sorry, plus 2v is equal to 12. Is that all right? Now you subtract this equation from this equation. What is that going to give you?
Minus W is equal to minus 2.
You'll subtract this equation from this equation. So it will give you, this is W. So W is equal to
2.
what? So this is your original equation and you subtract this from it. Okay. So Sridhar, you are not right. Okay. Do you get it or no?
We are subtracting 2.
So this is the starting equation. You subtract this from this.
Oh.
Are you okay, or are you getting it or no? How you
No.
were wrong?
Now we are modifying second equation, sir.
No, we are not modifying the second equation. Now second equation will not change. Only the third equation will change.
Okay.
Okay, because now second equation is your pivot. Now
Yes,
your
yes,
pivot
yes.
lies in the second equation.
Yes, yes.
Remember, in
Yes,
the
sir.
first equation, we did not change the first equation.
Yes,
We are only subtracting the multiplicand from means of the first equation. Again, we are doing the same thing. We are multiplying by minus 1 with the second equation now. Okay, minus 1 is being multiplied to the second equation, and we are subtracting the second equation multiplied second equation from the third equation.
Third equation.
Okay, so you get W is equal to 2.
2.
Okay, so your let me erase this. So your set of equations becomes this. Okay, let me erase this also. W is equal to 2.
2.
Okay. So we have, what have we done? We have eliminated all the variables one by one from the equations. Okay, not all the variables. We are, as we are moving from top to bottom, we are losing one variable at a time. Okay, so you have found out this procedure was called as elimination. Okay, from top to bottom. Now from bottom to top, what do you do? What do you do? क्या बोलते हैं उसको हम? Back substitution.
Back substitution.
Okay, so we are doing back substitution. We start with W. Here we already have the answer. W is equal to 2. Then we'll substitute this W into this equation, which will give me what? ये क्या देगा हमें?
Minus 12 plus
So minus 4.
1.
Well, we can get rid of all the minuses. So 8v plus 4 is equal to 12. So v will be what? क्या है v?
1.
1. Okay, so now you know W, you know V. You can put those into that equation. What will this give you?
1.
Huh? What will U be?
1, sir.
So 2 plus 1 is
1.
3. 5 minus 3
1.
is 2, and 2 divided by 2 you'll get. So this is your answer. Your answer is U V W is equal to
1.
4. Okay, we'll continue in the next class.